So we're going to talk about drawing crowds, as I had a question about how to draw them easily without having to draw every single person in the crowd. So we're going to talk about, I've kind of set up some things here. So there's a couple key concepts here. First of all, as far as just drawing them, and to save time is why I went ahead and doodled these things out. When you draw the characters on the front, the characters that have the most detail in the crowd are going to obviously be the ones right up in your face. Or if they're in the background, in the front of the crowd, in your face, figuratively. But their pose and their action is going to give your mind the information it needs to tell you what the attitude of the entire crowd is about. So here we got people, maybe they're waiting. So you can see everybody's waiting. And here that's protesting. So even though I've only drawn a head, you know those people are protesting. Over here, obviously I gave the front guy or girl popcorn and a drink, just two of them. You know this is kind of a theater then. And then running, I've only got the front figures kind of running, and then back here, you know that this is a crowd running. It's a marathon. Maybe they're running away from Godzilla or something. Who knows? Who knows what they're doing? So let's start with this one. If this crowd is up close, you can like really detail these people in. Give them a belt and, you know, shirt and face, whatever. If they're further in the back, I would go for big shapes. So once we draw these things in, the heads are important, especially with like this crowd. I'm drawing the heads in, and then the shoulders are important. So if you do nothing else in the background, draw the heads and the shoulders. And if they're running, you know, the shoulders are going to be at an angle. If they're all sitting, they're going to be, you know, people, you could get away with this. This is pretty static because people really don't sit like this. But if it's, you know, way further in the background, you could. So that's the first thing. Characters in the front are going to dictate the attitude of the crowd. So focus on like the first row, maybe even just like 3 or 4 standout people that are informing the viewer what's going on. And then you can just indicate in the back. Like here, I didn't even draw, you can tell people are back here, I didn't even draw bodies. So the next thing is when you go to color them, there's a couple tricks on coloring them, either one to save time or to, depending on how you color them, also adds information into how the crowd is going to be read. So the first way you could do, if I got the right layer here. Okay. So here I've gone through and I've colored them as individuals. And this takes a little more time, but we'll start up here. So I've got basic skin tones up on the head and the arms in front. For these front figures, they're about the same as the back figures, except that I went with a little more washed out colors just to make some distance. But these all kind of blend together. This reads as one group because they're all very similarly colored. Same thing down here. They kind of read as one group because nothing really stands out for the most part. They're all, other than behavior, they're all just color-wise, kind of, your eye is like, oh, this is a colorful spot of paper. Same thing here and same thing here, right? Maybe there's a lot going on my page, and say that I've got person, maybe there's a fight or something over here. Maybe there's, you know, something going on in this area. Another option for that is to group these guys together is just a mass of color like this. So you see this a lot in older comic books. You see this a lot in when the color printing process was not as good, and they would just, colors were a lot more basic, but it still works. This will take your attention off of them onto whatever's the brighter colors over here, but it still reads as a mass of people, and you could go lighter as you went back. So this is an easy way to group them together. Now things start changing. So let's say on this, how I group them together in the color matters, because this is one group of people running, right? Now if I take away this, all of a sudden this might be 3 people being chased by a group because I've separated them from this. We can get into stuff like if I've colored them this way, I'm gonna go on a different layer. And let's say I go back, and if I color over the background colors, that I leave these front characters more detailed, what's going to happen is suddenly the front row seems like maybe main characters. You can actually kind of see it. He's not really in the front row, so he's going to get lost in the back as well. So now we've got your focus is on these. Maybe they're representing the crowd through dialogue. Maybe this is like the main cast of characters. Same thing here. If I go through and kind of gray out, now we've separated them. So you could do even the same thing here. Maybe these two, I've already set these two apart because they're the only one that have snacks. So if I went through here and did a little, make a little vignette, so you can kind of see where this is going. There are some basic tips on drawing a crowd. The color and the detail, you could go in here, and if this was just an inked drawing and not going to be colored, you could just do a lot of detail on these 4 characters and then very simple kind of figures in the back like I did here, and that would do the same job that the color is doing here. It's an easy way to draw a crowd. Focus on the front line, few people in front that dictate what the attitude of the crowd is. In color, you can simplify things, do a little vignette. Thanks for watching this video. If there's anything you want me to cover in a future video, please leave a comment below, and like and subscribe and hit the bell for notifications.